Hi, everyone. I wanted to spend some time talking about MLA guidelines, in particular in-text citations. I wanted to give you some basic tips, and basic tips will get you the full points for the in-text citations part of the MLA requirements for the second out-of-class essay. There is still the works cited part as well, and you'll actually get to see a little bit of both today. And so I wanted to just first touch on the basic tips for in-text citations. And so the first is that you need a signal phrase that includes the source title and the author names or name, depending on how many authors there are. You should also have a parenthetical citation. And I want you to note that there's a little period on the outside of that. And that's because your parenthetical citation, I'm just going to kind of, you have your direct quote, and then you have your parenthetical citation, and your period always goes on the outside of the parenthetical citation, okay? And so as far as what goes on the inside, if your source has pagination, that means it has pages, you would put page numbers in the parentheses. So for example, this scholarly articles that you find in an online database, those have pagination. If you view the article as a PDF, then it will have page numbers in the PDF, okay? And so you're going to put those page numbers in the parentheses. If your source has no pagination and is an online source, you would include the shortened URL as a hyperlink. And in order to shorten the URL, you will have to use the edit link function. And I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? And so I have two bits of quotes that a student is trying to integrate into their essay, okay? And so I'm going to show you how to fix these integrations. And there's two different sources happening. And so the sources that the student is using, I'm going to show you the works cited page. Let me just raise this up. The student did a pretty good job on the works cited. This looks very good. And so I'm assuming that this student used a citation generator website. I use Citation Machine. It's one of my favorites. I recommend it to students. And I find that Citation Machine 99.9% of the time, it generates accurate citations, okay? And so the student has their citations double-spaced. There's no extra spacing in between them. They have their works cited centered. It looks clean. The citations look good. They alphabetized the two sources. Obviously, this is just a partial for today's tutorial. For the second out-of-class essay, you need 4 sources, right? And it does look like the student, these two were not scholarly sources. They were credible sources that were found online, okay? So let's go ahead and let's look at the two integrations of the direct quotes. So this one says, in the article written by Callahan, she states, it has the direct quote, it has the parenthetical citation, the periods on the outside, and it has a year in the parenthetical citation. This was just their analysis here, so we don't want to worry too much about that. I put it there just so we can kind of see, when we integrate a direct quote into our writing, obviously we're going to have analysis that follows it, right? And so what's missing here? So it says that we need a signal phrase that includes the source title and the author name or names. So it looks like we have a last name and we have no title of the source. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come down to the works cited because I know that the student had put this important information here. So I can just copy and paste. So in the article, I'm going to put this in quotations. The reason why I'm putting it in quotation is because it is an article and articles are put in quotes. Books are italicized, but articles are put in quotes. And so if you're ever wondering how to punctuate your title, there's a lot of places you can find that information. You can just type it into Google, MLA rules for punctuating different titles, and it will tell you, what is punctuated how. But another cool trick is that long titles are italicized and long works are italicized and short works are in quotations. So I'll give you an example. A movie title is italicized. An episode a TV episode is in quotes. A commercial is in quotes. And so that's long versus short work. Okay. Articles are short. Books are long. And so articles are in quotes. Books are in italics. And so this is an article, so we're putting it in quotes. And so now we have in the article, how do narcissists negatively impact productivity in the workplace? This is not just the student, a lot of students will write written by, and then they'll say she, which is, that's a little bit redundant because it kind of has like it's written by this person and then she states. And so what you actually want to do is you want to cut the written by. You don't want this. It's unnecessary. And then that will allow you to write a more fluid signal phrase that leads into the quote more fluidly. And so we have the last name, but we're missing the first name. It's Chloe. So I'm going to put Chloe here. Chloe Callahan states. And now we have our direct quote. So now, we are missing, checkbox. We have our check it and we have the author's name. Check it. And now we have incorrect information in the parenthetical citation. This is an online article. And so I'm going to go to it real quick. Actually, I could probably just copy and paste here. So I'm going to copy this right here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take you guys to the full source. And I'm going to copy and paste from the full source. So copy and paste, I'm going to go back. Okay, so now I have the full, the whole URL, right? We don't want the whole URL. That's way too much information to put into parentheses. We want the shortened URL. But I'm going to put the whole thing in here. Look at that, it's super long. So what you actually have to do is you have to right click on this and you have to go to edit hyperlink, okay? Once you edit the hyperlink, you can see that the shortened URL is www.worklife.news. And so up here, I don't know if you can see this, but it says text to display. That is the text that is shown on the page. And so we don't want the whole thing. We just want the shortened URL, which is basically what comes after the HTTPS and then what comes after the other, I don't know what those are called, honestly, but different parts of the URL. So you're just looking at what comes after the second slash and then before the next slash. Okay, so this in between here. So www.worklife.news. Okay, let me put that period there. And then there you go. So now you have the shortened URL as a hyperlink in the parenthetical citation. And that is the correct way to integrate a source that does not have pagination. Okay, so now we're going to look at this next quote. So again, although doctor, it's not a horrible thing to include, we're still missing the first name. And so this is Amor Setter. Actually, we're missing the last name. Dr. Amor Setter. We always write in present tense unless we are referring to something that has happened in the past. Okay, so Dr. Amor Setter writes, and then we have, we're missing the period on the outside, so I'm going to put that there. And then we have our parenthetical citation with the year of publication, which MLA does not require. And so this here, this actually looks like this looks like another web source without pagination. But I want to just show you guys, if this were a journal article and there was a PDF that had the page numbers in it, then here you would just put the page number. So let's say this was on page 4. You would just put 4 and the period goes after the parenthetical citation. This is actually another online source, I believe. I'm just going to do a quick search. Just do a quick search there. Yeah, so there is no pagination here. It's an article, but it's kind of like in a somewhat of a journal. It's not a .edu though. It's not a .gov. So it's a credible source, but it's not scholarly in any way. And so, to be accurate, to a source without pagination, I am going to copy this link and show you guys again. Right here. So, and then we're going to right click because I do not want all of that. We're just going to put, what is that? Oh, that's annoying. It's EnglishDoctorBarcelona.com. Okay. EnglishDoctorBarcelona.com. EnglishDoctorBarcelona.com. I think it's www. I don't know why that's not showing up, but we're going to put that in there. Okay. www.EnglishDoctorBarcelona.com. And so now we have the accurate way of putting the hyperlink into the parenthetical citation. But again, if this were in a journal that you found in a database, those articles you should be able to. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly show you how you find page numbers in articles that you might find through our CCSF library database. I just typed in exhibitionism as my search term. I made sure to put available online, and I made sure to also mark scholarly source. I'm not sure where I clicked that one, but it's there somewhere. So this is a scholarly source. It's in Frontiers in Psychiatry. This one is, peer-reviewed. So we know that these are scholarly sources. I'm just going to click on this one. And what you're going to find is it says full text availability. This is what we need. We need the full text, okay? It's going to prompt you to put your RAM information in, which I did. And then I am going to download it because I need the PDF. Okay? And I have it in my download, and I'm going to open it. So this looks like this article this might be open source, but no, it's not. Okay. So you can see that the page numbers are up here in the upper right hand corner. So 3611, anything that I pull from that would go there, 3612, and so on and so forth. So if you find an article in our CCSF library database, and it is a peer-reviewed article, which means it's a scholarly source, and you are going to integrate it into your writing, you are going to follow the same rules of making sure that you have the title of the article. Typically, peer-reviewed sources have multiple authors, and so you will have, 1, 2. Let me check this one real quick. This one has how many authors? This one has 3 authors. So let me actually show you guys this, or I'll just add this here. I'll add it as a bullet point. If more than 2 authors write the first author's full name, and then add etal. It's etal. So I'm going to show you guys real quick with this one. The first author's name is Ibrahim Arpachi. So, with what we're looking at, Ibrahim Arpachi etal. So you don't have to write all 3 or all 4 or all 5. Sometimes they have tons of authors. You just have to write the primary author, which is the first one listed on the article, along with this little subscript. I forget what it's called, but etal. And that means that it's more than 2 authors. Okay. And so in the signal phrase, if you had more than 2 authors for this article, you would have Chloe Callahan etal. And of course, if you have a scholarly source with page numbers, which they all should have page numbers, then in the parentheses, you're going to have the page number where you pulled the direct quote for that source. Okay, you're not going to have a URL for the source. So that's about it for the in-text citations. As I mentioned, for works cited, a really good, I'll just add this in here. A good citation generator. A good citation generator is citation machine. I think it's citationmachine.com. Let's see. Citation. No, it's actually citationmachine.net. So this is a citation machine MLA citation generator because we're working with MLA citations. You choose your source. So if it's a journal, it's going to ask you to type in the title or the DOI, and then it'll actually populate. I'll show you guys real quick. So I'm just going to pull that. So let's say you didn't have a citation for this source. Put that in there. Search, and it's right here. Do cite. Sometimes it'll say some things are missing, but I don't think anything is missing here. And then you go complete citation. It's going to make you watch a sponsored ad, and then it's going to generate the citation for you. And Citation Machine does a great job with generating the citation, where all you have to do is copy and paste what it generates and put it into your works cited. So let's see if it actually works on my computer, which has been acting a little crazy lately. Yeah, so I have it right here. Copy the citation. This is just for example, right? And I'm just going to paste it. Oh, no, actually I was wrong. Double space that, and you're going to tab the second and subsequent lines in. So now it's correct. But the actual citation itself is it's great. It looks good. So yeah, this is a quick tutorial for you all on some basic tips for in-text citations, and also some tips around the works cited page. Okay. Bye.